What's up, guys? CryptoSavvy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates every single day on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and we look at the Dow Jones Industrial during the weekdays, so we will be looking at that at the end of the video. Don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome community, guys, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, investment advice, none of that. There is a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it, and always remember, this is my opinion, not yours. So the Bitcoin halving, that is the big deal going on. Everybody's hyping it. Be careful who you listen to. I'm not saying that it can't have a huge pump here, but guys, some people really hype this up when I still think we're going to go lower. Although I could be wrong, but we'll talk about it, and let's look at news headlines, get a feel for the sentiment. Bitcoin halving is now when to buy Bitcoin. Get set for Bitcoin halving. Here's what that means. Crypto long and short Bitcoin markets are growing up. Sudden Bitcoin crash sparks serious Coinbase warning as price of Bitcoin plunges 12% in 24 hours. Nouriel Rubini says Bitcoin is a total scam. Bitcoin price tanks 10%. So it's looking pretty bearish in the news. Let's look at the fear and greed index. We are at, let me make sure this is refreshed. We are at 40. We dropped 4 points from yesterday. We were in neutral. We are now in fear. Does that mean we may have a pump? Possibly. Let's look at the two trend lines I have set up here, the 93.40 and the 85.57. We talked about the monthly close, although, you know, we're not even in the middle of the month yet. But a monthly close above this trend line would be bullish to me. Inside would still be neutral, and below would be bearish. We will keep an eye on that. Don't forget to check out my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. There's a link to it below in the description. Really helps the channel out. It's a great way to support the channel. She has a lot of cool stuff in there. If you like different cryptos than she has listed, she could put those on there too. There's also long sleeve t-shirts and hoodies. Hit her up in the contact if you're interested. All right, looking at the weekly. We'll look at the RSI in a minute. We've been watching that. So as of right now, the EMAs still look bullish here on the weekly. But we are in the very beginning of the week, so that can change drastically and quickly. Let's take a look at this top trend line. Off of these wicks, which I know a lot of people have it drawn from the bodies and whatnot. If you draw it off the wicks, you're a lot safer. I don't know why people use the bodies. But here is the 10.514. If that was to break and we close a daily above that, we'd be extremely bullish. And we've already talked about the targets of that. And actually, it'd be a little bit lower now, but somewhere around the $16,000 range. And if we broke the top, you know, the huge bullish scenario is the 29,000. But again, guys, we take a look at the bullish and the bearish case scenario here. There's still a good case that we could go down to the 45.70 range, which would retest the bottom of this yellow trend line on the bottom here. We also have this white trend line from 2016. 28.45 would be coming down to retest that. And if we look at this falling, broadening wedge here, if we came down to test the bottom of that, would be 1,000. I'm not saying we're going to go down here, guys. I'm just letting you know it is possible, and don't be surprised if it does. The 200 EMA on the weekly, as of right now, is around the 55 to 5,600. There's a good chance we do go down to test that. We may get a little pump today, depending on what the Dow Jones does. If it sinks, like I believe it may, that should pull Bitcoin back down. So usually Bitcoin will use this time before the market's open to get a little run and then a reversal when it opens if the Dow is going to crash. Now let's look at the RSI on the weekly. We've been talking about this falling channel, and I'd said last week if we closed outside of it, which we were above it, but we ended up closing back down, that it would be bullish. We are trying to peek back out of it right now, but remember, guys, we could go all the way up here. And before the week closes, it could be back down here because the RSI follows the body, not the wicks. Keep that in mind. Let's look at where we're at here in the daily. So we can get this out of here now. All right, so in the daily, we have this rising channel we've been watching, and the measured move, if we were to fall out of this channel, and I'm going to show you why I believe it's possible that we're going to fall out. I'll show you why. There's some leading indicators that show that. So looking at the target, if we were to break out tomorrow or break down tomorrow or within the next couple days, the target would be around 5,800. And it doesn't mean we drop straight to it, although we could. We've seen that before. But that would be the target if we broke this. You know, it could take some time. Also, I want to point out the Fibonacci retracement from this swing low to this swing high is the first Fibonacci retracement would be the 0.236 at 86.25, and as you can see, we got some bouncing in that area. I also have this red trend line at the 8,500. As you can see, we got support off that again. If we look at the EMAs, we are getting resistance at the 89.50 range, which is a 13 EMA. Then we have the 8 EMA up here around the 81 or 9100, right in that area. So, you know, we could get a nice pump up here, guys, and then get a huge drop down. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's look at the 200 EMA is around 8,050. So let's say we come back down, we break this 86.25 again. Obviously, 85 is going to be support. If and when that breaks, I'm looking at 77 as the next target. And then we have the 0.5 fib at 69.81. And these are the targets I am looking at most likely, guys. The 0.618 at 6,200. And then we have my target I've been looking at for a long time, 5,400. I'm still thinking that is a possibility. And then we have the 0.786 retracement would be around the 5,200. And if that breaks and we break this low of the 38, obviously, you know, we're looking at the lower lows. But if we can break back above and close above the 9,600 range, then, you know, the bullish possibility still could be. As of right now, let's look at the RSI. Looks like we're in a rising broadening wedge, and we could get it, like I said, a nice little pump up here. But once the bottom of this trend line breaks, guys, that's where the bearish case scenario starts coming in. I still think it's a damn good possibility that we break this. Let me zoom in. That we break this broadening wedge. So keep an eye on this on your RSI. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the RSI. And if this breaks here, we should be coming back down to retest the bottom of this white rising channel. And that would be the more bearish case scenario. Let's look at the 4 hour. Like I said, the reason being, and I'll show you now, I'll show you what to watch in the RSI too, to know where there may be a good short position coming soon. Hopefully it's not done by the time this video is done. But again, our measured move here is around that 5,800, but I would be looking for a bounce at the 6,200, which would be 6 or 0.618, and then the 69.50 range, which would be the 0.5. And obviously, this is going to be a big deal around the 7,700. It has been support and resistance a lot along the way, so that is where I'm looking at. And always remember, if we pass this 10,527 and close a daily above it, full bull, if you ask me. So, also, I want to point out this rising broadening wedge here. We did come up and retest the bottom. I thought it may come up and actually touch. It did not. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Let's look at the RSI. So, looking at the RSI, we've been talking about this rising wedge here. We had 2 touches on the bottom, 3 touches on the top. We broke through the bottom. It does look like we may come up here and retest for resistance. If we do get rejected, obviously down to our lower targets, that could get us as high as, my targets here would be around the $9,100 range. Next would be 9,400, which would be this trend line up top, and then the $9,600 range. I don't see us going much higher than the 96. I would change my view if we did, but I don't think that's going to happen. And if we look at this rising channel here, we look at Litecoin, it already fell out of its, and Ethereum already fell out of its rising channel. So that's why I believe these are leading indicators of what Bitcoin's going to do. As you can see, the EMAs are super bearish. Let's look at Bitcoin's 4-hour EMAs. They want to turn up, but as of right now, they are still pointing bearish. Look at Litecoin, same thing, Litecoin. If we can get back above this 4,400, Litecoin may have a chance, and obviously Bitcoin along with that. But as of right now, this blue line we've had here forever, 4109, we did get a nice bounce from it. If we break through that, the Fibonacci retracement is 0.5 fib at around $38, and then we have the 0.618 at $35, and the 0.786 at, and these are my targets here, guys, that I'm looking for. If we continue this breakdown, the measured move from where we broke out of this is around, it's actually around 3125. So the one thing, if we look at the RSI, we have gotten a nice bounce off the bottom. This could be the RSI resetting for one more test down here, which would be them lower targets. Like I said, the area to watch here, guys, is going to be around the, if we can break back above 4,600, we may be looking for a bullish breakout, but I don't see it as of now. Let's look at Ethereum. Same thing with Ethereum. It broke out of its channel, retested the top, got rejected quite a few times now. The EMAs are looking across the 200 EMA here. The measured move of that would be around 134, but we do have, obviously, our Fibonacci retracement supports here. First one being around 175. That breaks. Next one being around 160. And then we have the 0.618 Fibonacci at 142, which is the golden pocket zone, most likely to hit around here between here and that 133, 132 range would be the target of this breakdown. And then we have the 0.786 at 120. Obviously, same. If we break this low here, we're going down to much lower lows. I do have them down here, possibly 47. Possible. If we break this low over here at, what, 90, 91. Keep an eye on that. Let's look at the RSI. Sorry I made this video real quick, guys. I do want you to know, I'm going to leave a Prime XBT tutorial up here. Definitely check it out if you're interested in trading. You can trade the stock market, Forex, gold, silver, oil, all that stuff on it. Prime XBT is one of the best exchanges, in my opinion. I have 3 that I trade on. It's DOW, Prime XBT, and Bybit. Those are the ones I trust. I don't really trust the others. You can see my links down below the video. There's bonuses for all of them for using my links. Prime XBT has a 50% bonus. Whatever you deposit, they'll put 50% on top of it. And with my Savvy 50 promo code, and there's a Savvy 25 promo code that gets you 25% off all your fees. So definitely check it out. But like I said, DOW has, if you're new to trading, DOW has a risk management tool that is pretty simple and easy to use to manage your risk. So check them out. If you're interested in trading, just always remember, don't put in more than you're willing to lose, and don't do super high leverage, guys. All right, so Ethereum looks like we might be ready to pop up here if we don't come down for another low. If we did pop up there, Ethereum would be looking around the 203, maybe somewhere in that area. Obviously, we'll have some rejection here at 194. But guys, the halving hype, be careful. Like I said, I could be wrong. We could, I'm just giving you my opinion. I think we're going lower by everything I see in the charts. So that's my opinion, not yours. And thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comments down below. And I'm out.